Well, is our own Melissa Francis. Melissa, big day for everybody on Wall Street. We always expect Wall Street to be a little jittery. They seem to have recovered.
No, absolutely. I mean, the market is the great truth teller because, of course, you do what you really believe with your money. You may say different things about different candidates, but when it comes time to put your money on the line, and we saw that. Paul Krugman, you mentioned him. He's the one that said the market was never going to recover on the night that President Trump was elected. And lo and behold, much as we predicted overnight, it bounced back right away the next morning. And in fact, it is all those records that we have seen since the president has been in office that drove the market lower, at least in part last week. And what I'm saying is, I actually talk to traders every day. I actually talk to people who are putting money on the line. Unlike all of these other pundits on these other sites who sit there and, oh, the market's crashing. No, this is what traders are actually saying. The market can't go up, up, up. We had run up 17% without pulling back. So we were due for a pullback. They looked at what was going on in China and didn't know how long those factories were going to be closed. Guess what we learned on Friday and over the weekend? That factories in China are opening back up. People are going back to work. So you have a sense of how long a virus is going to cause a supply shock. We also see that stocks were massively on sale. They can only go down for so long before people go, you know what? The world's going to recover from this virus. And my goodness, I missed the last run up in Apple. I missed the last run up over here. I'm going to get in on it. There's another really important story in here, Sean, that hasn't really been covered. And that's, we have these really complicated supply chains where we're dependent on these other countries like China. Who's been trying to get us off those complicated supply chains? Who's been trying to wean us from China and has been ridiculed for it through this trade war? President Trump. Now we see why we maybe don't want to be totally dependent on them, because a virus that is under control in our country, where we only have people dying for now, thank God, who were already vulnerable in their health for one reason or another, but you have these other countries where it's running rampant and, you know, more healthy people are actually dying from this. Maybe you don't want to be dependent on that country for your supply chain or for your medication. I mean, that's another huge story that the president's been on and that we've been covering. Why is China making our medication? Why aren't we in control of that anymore? These are things to follow up on. What do you think, Sean?
All right, Melissa, thanks. Well, so we might have a slowdown because they've talked it down so bad. We'll have more on the coronavirus in a moment. Thank you. First Super Tuesday.